Right, welcome to this Tactics and Showcase video. It's for Space Wolves here, and we'll take a look at Thunderwolf Cavalry, one of the all-time classic units for Space Wolves, one of the units that's very unique to them. There's no other chapters out there that have Space Marines riding on top of huge wolves, but Space Wolves do. So they've been around for quite a while. Popular choice. There's a certain role that I have for mine in my list, but we'll discuss that as we get into the rules and loadouts and war gear and so on for this unit. It is a showcase video here as well, so I have a unit of 5 currently. I do have another box of these on order because I want to expand the number of these I have in my list, but there's a unit of 5, and we'll just zoom in here, let you have a close look. So there they are, big bases they're mounted on, and they're quite glorious miniatures to a degree. It does look kind of awkward, a Space Marine riding on top of a wolf, but they look alright, they're okay. There they are, there they are. I think with the shields they look better. And look at the bionic leg here, it's look good. That's a nice one. These have been painted up on commission by Siege Studios, so you can check them out, siegestudios.co.uk. Nice work here they've done on these. Yeah, no, really good. So, a double-sided axe. That's one of my favourite ones, that one. Another one here. So, power axe or frost axe, whatever you want to use. And a storm shield on him as well. And this one, just bolt pistol and chain sword. It's with a cheaper option. And again, bolt pistol and chain sword on this one as well. I've got a certain loadout for mine. I'll talk about the justification for that, sort of my reasoning and tactic here. Bear in mind, check out the comment section below to say this at the start. There's all sorts of combos you can go for in tactics with Thunderwolf Cavalry, so see what other Space Wolves players are saying. You know, there's no way my ideas are the most effective. There's others out there that have different combinations that work really well, depending on what you want to use these guys for your Space Wolves list. But we'll zoom out here and take a look at the rules. So they're a fast attack choice. They're quite a presence on the battlefield. There's one thing I can guarantee you, they will attract the attention of your opponent for sure. This isn't the most potent unit I have in my army. I have Dreadnoughts, a Wolfen that will pack more of a punch than that Thunderwolf Cavalry unit that I have just there, but they attract attention for sure. So it can be a disadvantage, but it can also be an advantage as well. So I'm going to play into the opponent's, let them play into my hands for this, knowing that I'm going to be shot at. I'm going to go for a certain loadout here to accomplish my aim during a game. It'll all be explained here. Thunderwolf Cavalry, and we'll just get some points cost as we go along. So, just a bit of tactic here. I know that these are going to be shot at as a very high priority by the opponent. It's a psychological thing. They know this is sort of, you know, it's Space Marines armed to the teeth riding wolves. So even if I don't think they're that particularly potent in close combat, but your opponent often thinks I need to blow these away as quick as possible. There is that fear factor, and the fact that they move so quick around the table as well. So knowing that they're going to get shot to pieces, I'm going to go for a loadout that tries to reduce the damage coming through, so the opponent has to try and spend more and more effort to remove them. But I don't want to spend out loads of points on this unit because I know for a fact they're probably going to get blown away with firepower, and so I don't want to lose a load of points down the drain because the models have all been removed from the battlefield. So try and keep them protected as much as possible, but I don't want to spend out loads of points on them. Try and keep them as cheap as I can. And I also don't think they're that potent in close combat here, because you'll see it here. Look, Thunderwolf Cavalry, the power level 8, fast attack. So they're 40 points a time. That is expensive. It is expensive here. Movement 10. So they're fast enough. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4. The toughness 5. And they've got 3 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 8, and a 3 up save. So why I think they're not so potent is because they've got 2 attacks. So if you start equipping these Marines here with things like frost axes and thunder hammers, you know, expensive war gear, but you're only getting 2 attacks a time with that. There's other models you can give that to, even Wolfen, who've got more attacks the Thunderwolf Cavalry. So I think it's spending a lot of points on not many attacks. These have changed. It used to be that you got a lot of attacks and you could give that war gear to that model and you get all those attacks. There's a Thunderhammer, all the attacks for a Thunderhammer. But here it's just 2 attacks now from the Marine, and the other attacks come from Crushing Teeth and Claws here, which you have to use a separate stat line for. So I don't think they have the same kind of heavy punch that other units can have, because just the lower amount of attacks here. So you get a Thunderwolf Cavalry pack leader and 2 Thunderwolf Cavalry. So it's a unit of 3. You can add up to 3 more, so you can take up to units of 6. Each model is armed with a chainsaw, a bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades. You're not going to pay any extra for that. It's just a flat 40 points. So say I'm going to go for units of 4 now, by the way, for my new size. Planning to at least. So units of 4. So 160 points we're sitting at here. It's already quite expensive. Add him in, you're on an immediate 200 point unit. For a unit that doesn't do too much, bolt pistol and chainsword, you'd have to start then topping it up with extra war gear. Each of their Thunderwolf attacks with Crushing Teeth and Claws. So let's say that standard loadout, the Marines here will be getting 3 attacks each with their chainswords, but it's just coming in at strength 4, AP -0 and 1 damage. Then the Crushing Claws and Teeth, strength 5 -1 and 1 damage. After model its mount makes its close combat attacks, you can attack with its mount. Make 3 additional attacks using this weapon profile. So another 12 attacks are going to come through from the Wolves in total from this unit 4. So with that kind of loadout, just the standard loadout, they'd be better at charging into hordes. So, you know, Orc Boys, Gaunts, Hormagaunts, Guardsmen, Traitor Guard, that kind of target. If you want to go after heavier targets, you then got to start paying out for the war gear on top of their basic cost. But say for example you gave one of these a Thunderhammer, 16 points, that's 56 points, and then a Storm Shield, 58 points. 58 points to get 2 Thunderhammer attacks. The only model I really think is worth giving anything heavy caliber to is the Cavalry Pack Leader, who gets 3 attacks. Would be about the best option. Any model may replace its chainsword with a Storm Shield or an item from the melee weapons list. You want to go for no potency on these because the opponent won't make them a priority. They need to look mean and nasty enough. Any model may replace its bolt pistol with a bolt gun, plasma pistol, or an item from the melee weapons list. So you can get all sorts of melee weapons for these, if you wish. But I would caution against it, because you're paying out points for not many attacks. Should be just here. So Chainsword, Frost Axe, Frost Sword, Lightning Claw, Power Axe, Power Fist, Power Maul, Power Sword, Thunderhammer and Wolf Claw. So, I think to try and equip these, to try and take out a vehicle, I probably have to give them all Thunderhammers, and you're looking at adding a whole load of points cost on top. It's difficult to try and get a good loadout here, but the loadout I've gone for here is cheap enough. It is 160 points. I then pay the points here for Storm Shields, but it's a Storm Shield for Thunderwolf Cavalry is 10 points a time, so I pay for 2 of those, that's 20 points, so that's 180 points, and I simply pay 5 points for a Power Axe. For 5 points. And I put that on the pack leader. So really, I should take this guy out. No, I need to do a bit of remodel. When the new models arrive, I'm going to put a guy with a bolt pistol and chainsword, and then sort him out with a Storm Shield. So there'll be 2 of them carrying the 3+ in one side, and he'll be there just to tank hits coming through. So any high caliber weapons come through, you can put it onto the guy with just the Storm Shield, and the pack leader there is to be protected. The last one to die. So, the two aims, the two ways I want to use these, and I think it's the two most effective ways to use these, is number one is to be the front wave of my assault and to be a distracting unit. So I hope to have 2 units of 4. I want to hurtle these towards the opponent as fast as possible. If the opponent ignores them, they can plunge into the opponent's lines and cause disruption and trouble and try and take on targets. If the opponent decides to shoot at them, there's 12 wounds to try and get through there, and a double 3+ invuln save to try and chew for as well. So they'll absorb a fair bit of damage. Smaller caliber weapons, you're on toughness 5 here, so 5s to wound with those kind of weapons, and then anything higher caliber coming through, you can start tanking it on the 3+ invuln save. The whole idea is to just absorb damage come through. So that's that. So an initial charging front line, and expect to take and to absorb as much damage as possible. So then the second aim for these is then to use them as anti-hordes. The opponent's got some screening units out the front, is to get stuck into them, and then they're geared towards that. These wolves with their 12 attack, strength 5 AP -1, are geared towards clearing away the lighter armed infantry, and their chainsword attacks, power axe attacks, geared for that as well. So that's the aim for them, is to clear away screening units as well, to let my other units following up move through deeper into enemy lines. So that's their aim. Whilst the opponent's firing at them, my other units moving up that I've invested more points in, so my dreadnoughts, for example, my Wolfen unit, the opponent's not firing at them because they're trying to deal with this immediate threat, which is these. So that's the kind of tactic behind these. It's all about distraction here, to try and divert attention is the main aim for them. To take 2 units, I've got a unit of 5, but I'm going to go for 2 units of 4. And so, and then again, same configuration, a double 3+ invuln save inside the second unit as well. And just charge them headlong towards the opponent, and then let them absorb as much damage as possible. So that's why, knowing I'm just going to get shot at over and over and over again, I don't want to go for heavy configurations here, or to put my best investment, all my Thunderhammers and so on, inside this unit. It looks great, but they're going to get taken down. Yeah, and if they're at the front, they might get smite, could be a problem for them. There's constant mortal wounds come through. There's that problem as well. So I don't want to overly invest in these and see a whole lot of points just lost because these models have been taken down quite quick. They're durable, but with enough firepower, they'll eventually be brought down. So we'll try out this combination here. I'm not going to charge them in against the vehicle, that's not their aim. If I do charge them in against a vehicle, it would be just to deny that vehicle, say it's a lean rush tank, just to charge them in and then try and deny that tank from, it has to pull out of combat and deny it from shooting, so just to cause disruption, but I'm not expecting them to bring the target down. Instead, I'm looking for them to smash through hordes here. So it's this kind of target I want them to plunge into and to try and thin down as much as possible. So I've got my other target Wolfen coming up, and the Wolfen need to get through to the back lines. Other infantry squads, dreadnoughts, I don't want to have to come up against any kind of screen that's going to try and block me from coming through. So say the orcs have tried to create a screen of orc boys to try and protect their other units nearby, and the aim for these Thunderwolf Cavalry is to try and reduce these down. This is a big unit actually here, a blob of 15 of them, but we'll give it a go. We'll say we're here, and we'll try and soften up this target. So we'll chuck a frag grenade, 2 shots, 1 hit, and a wound. 6 up save, that's 1 gone, and 3 bolt pistols. All hit, 1 wound, and another 1 brought down. Yeah, every little helps here. We'll charge in, so tank buster bomb. It's needing 6s, there's a hit, blast. No wound coming through though. Strength 8, toughness 5, so that saved us there. And then we'll go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is slugger shots. Really good shooting from the orcs here. 5 extra shots. Another 1. 5's to wound though. 2 get through. Now, one thing I notice in games, I've got to think carefully where to allocate this. My target here is orc boys, So I'm not expecting that I'm going to need to pull out a 3+ invuln save, so I'll try and preserve these shields for perhaps other targets that will go against me. So I'm going to tank it on a regular guy and take a 3+ save, which I pass both anyway. Then we'll charge in 9 inches. This is the kind of target here, a screen that's blocking the way for the rest of my army. Let's say my army's moving up here. So here it comes. I want to clear the way. You've got to push this screen out of the way as quick as possible. That's what the Thunderwolf Cavalry are doing. And you can see the opponent, he sees these are the threat, the shot's coming against these, and it lets these move out without being shot at as much. The opponent ignores them entirely, and I've got wolves that can run around all over the deployment zone causing havoc. So with this combo, which should be, this is the current 185 point combo here, and we'll say one of them's got the storm shield there as well. Not that I'll need it, I don't think, in this particular fight here. But so we'll go for chainsword attacks. So the guy's 2 attacks are standard, extra on for the chainsword. So I'm going to get 9, and then the leader there will get 3 with his power axe as well. So 3s to hit, 4s to wound, and 6s to save. None. So 3 of those brought down, and then the leader hit, just the 1 hit, 3s to wound though, and nope, so the frost axe has not been effective. So then the cavalry will attack now, 3 attacks each from the wolves. That's going to be 12 attacks here. This is pretty good. Let's take these misses away. Strength 5, so 3s to wound. It's really good. And then it's AP -1, so it's a straight 5 kill. So that's the potency of these. Those wolves really helping out. That's seriously hammered that line. If that was unit 10, they'd be virtually gone. So very happy with that. They've smashed through that really, really well. So and they've, against this kind of target, they'd be happy to carry on fighting here. If the Orc boys pull back, then the opponent's going to shoot at them, but it's just going to be a big distraction here, so it's pretty good. We'll let the Orc boys fight back here, so it's going to be 12 attacks. Nice lot of wounds on these Thunderwolf Cavalry, so they should be able to absorb some damage pretty good. I play the Orcs as Goths, so we get an extra 2 attacks here, which both hit. Toughness 5, so 5s to wound, which should help a fair bit. Yeah, just the 2. And again, I'll tank it on this guy, so 3+ normal save. Pass both of them. The knob with the big chopper. Yep, that's going to be 2 extra attacks, which miss. Then 3s to wound. Yep, 2 wounds come through. So -1. 4 up save. Yeah, I'll stick it on a regular dude. 4 up. Double 4, because fortunate to get away with that one. So 0 damage coming through. Maybe there might be morale issues perhaps here with these Orc boys, but I think that's demonstrated here. This is the prime kind of target, so a softer target for these to charge into, and to clear away massed infantry as much as possible. But that's not bad, pretty impressive. So you might be an experienced Space Wolves player and you disagree very strongly with this combination I've gone for, but that's the logic I'm thinking of here. Trying to take out hordes and screens is their priority, which requires them to move up swiftly, as quick as possible, and then let the other harder hitting units move into the heavier targets as they move up. But knowing full well the opponent's going to target these quickly and with a lot of firepower, I don't invest too much in war gear on them, knowing they're just going to get shot to pieces. So don't want to overly invest in them, and I think there's other units that can pack a meaner punch than your standard sort of Thunderwolf Cavalry now. But that's the tactics as a showcase for these. Keep a look out and see how well they do in the battle reports we've got planned for both of the channels. Check out the comment section below, see what other Space Wolves players are saying. If you want to see the brand new list for the Space Wolves, that's now live over on the Plus channel, along with all the other exclusive content, painting tutorials, Space Hulk, battle reports, loads of battle reports now for 8th edition. But that's the tactics here. Keep a look out for more tactics videos for the Space Wolves and a complete army ready in the future. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.